welcome to my channel, The AI Breakthrough. I hope you are all doing awesome. Today, our topic of study in our journey to learn Python is to study the various data types in Python. In programming language, in any programming language you study, whether Java or Python, every language has its own data types. This is applicable whether it is Java or Python. Now let me show you how many data types are applicable in Python language. So we will study each and every data type one by one so that you can have a clear idea what is data type before studying Python language. So one by one we will catch up with each data type. The first data type in Python is called integer. So integer, as the name suggests, it's simple numbers. Let me show you. So if I write the function print, which I have already taught you earlier, you can check my previous videos to learn about the built-in function called print. So I write print and I pass an integer. Now if I run the play button, you can see Python has displayed an integer. Now Python can handle integers, very large integers. Any large integer Python can handle. So to know the type of the variable which we are passing, Python has got a built-in function called type. If you have a doubt that what is the variable which we have passed, we can check it using the type function. So let me show it to you. I use the type function and I pass the same value which I passed in the print function, and let me press the play button. You can see it is showing int. So Python has learned that the type of this variable, the data type of this variable is int or integer. So we have covered up what is the first variable, which is called integer. The next type in Python which we will discuss is called float. Now float, as a number suggests, which are decimal values. Any decimal value in Python is called a float. Now let me show an example of float. So I'm writing the print function, using the print function and writing here 8.55. So you can see this is a float. I've written 8.55. Now when I press the print function, you can see Python has understood that this is a float. So let me check whether it is actually a float or not. So I'm again using the type function. Let me use the type function and pass the float value. I'm passing the same float value here, and when I press the play button, you can see Python has detected that this variable has a data type called float. Now Python can handle sufficiently large amount of float values. After covering integer and float, now the third type which we will study is Boolean. So Boolean has got two values. It is limited to two values, which is true or false. So let me use one of the Boolean values in Python. So I am displaying the value of Boolean, such as this thing. When I pass the value false, which is a Boolean, to the print function, you can see Python has given the output. Similarly, if I pass the other type Boolean, which is true, you can see Python has provided me the output. So now if you notice that I have not put true or false in inverted commas, because Boolean is not a text, it is a keyword. So that is why we are not using inverted commas. So again I am using let me use the type function and to check the variable type. If I use type function and pass a Boolean value, let me see what value comes on the screen. See, it is showing bool, the short form of Boolean. So we have covered the three data types, which is integer, float and Boolean. The next data type in Python is called the text. which is often called as strings in Python. Any text value is called string in Python. The hello world written in our previous videos is actually a string. Let me show you once again. Let me pass a string to the print function to display the output. Let's see. I have written hello world. Now if I print this output, it is giving me hello world as the output. So again, let me check the type or variable type of this. When I pass type and I pass the same string, you can see it will give me the data type of this, which is str, in short form for strings. And you can see strings are always written under inverted commas. In Python, there is no character data type like there it is in C language. In Python, these are directly called strings. After strings, let's cover one more data type which is not in use that much, but still it is considered data type, and it is called a complex number. So in your mathematics classes, you must have heard what is a complex number. It has got two parts, a real part and an imaginary part, such as a plus 6j or 5 plus 2j. So here 5 is the real part and 6 is the imaginary part. Let me show you a complex number example. So I am passing a complex number, say 5 plus 6j. So you can see this is a complex number. So when I print it, it is giving me output 5 plus 6j. Again, let me check the type of the variable which has been used. So again, if I write the type function and pass 5 plus 6j, you can see it is giving me the output that this is a complex data type. So Python has understood that this is a complex data type. After covering complex number, let us move to the next data type, which is called a list. What is the list? The array is popularly called the list in Python. We will write a list in the form of square with all the individual elements separated by a comma. So let me show you what is actually a list. So again, I'm using the print function. You can see I'm using the print function right now, and I'm passing a list as an argument. So you can see this is a list which has got square brackets, and individual elements are separated by commas. So I'm one individual element, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can see there are 5 individual elements all separated by commas in a list. And when I pass and I press a play button, Python understands that this is a list and gives us the output. Again, to check the type of the variable which we have been using, will again pass the same variable in the type function. You can see that. Now again using the type function, and it gives me the output that this is the list. So Python has understood that this variable type is list, and that's why it is able to give you the output as list whenever you are using the type function. So I hope you understand the use of the type function, how important it is. Now the list has a brother, and it is called a tuple. Now what is a tuple? In a tuple, instead of square brackets, we use parentheses. Let me show you once again. So I'm using the print function, and I'm passing a tuple inside the print function, keeping the elements as same. When I print it, so Python has understood that this is a tuple, and it gives me the output. Again, if I want to check what is the data type of this argument, if I use the type function and I pass it, now I play the button, and you can see Python has detected that this is a tuple. So I hope till now it's very clear. So we started with integer, then we went to float, then we went to boolean, then we went to string, from string we went to complex numbers, from complex numbers to list, then from list we went to tuple. Now after covering this data type, the next data type which we will study is most often used in mathematics, and the same thing is applicable in Python, and this is called a set. You must have heard of set in your mathematics classes. We represent sets in Python using curly braces. Let me show you an example of a set to make things clear. So I am using this. So as I said, curly braces, I need to use curly braces. So you can see this is a curly brace, and I'm passing the individual elements, same which I used earlier, which is 1 2 3 4 5. So when I print the output, you can see Python has provided me the output. So let me check the type of variable again using the type function. So I'm using the type function and I'm passing, and if you check, you can see Python has given me the output as set. So this is a set. Now after finishing the set, we will come to the last data type in Python, which is called a dictionary. So dictionary, as the name suggests, in Python, dictionary is represented using key and value pairs. So this is a little bit complex data type, but believe me, it's really easy. So let me show you what is actually a list through a Python code. So I'm passing a list to the print function. So first what I will do is I will use the curly braces. You can see inside the print function I passed a curly braces. Now as I said, list has got two values, key and value. So there is one key and there is one value. So let me write the key first, and after that I will enter the value. So the key here I am putting it as name. Then I put a colon, and then the name of the person, say you can think of that name as John Doe. Now this is a dictionary. So this is one element of a dictionary, just like 1 2 3 4 5 are 5 elements. This is one element which consists of the key, which is name, and its corresponding value, which is John Doe. Now let me add one more element to the dictionary. Let it be, after name, let it be the gender. So again I'm passing the new key, which is gender, in inverted commas. So inverted commas is absolutely essential. Without that the code will not work. Python will be unable to recognize that this is a dictionary. So the next key is gender, and I'm putting the value of gender as male. So now we can see this is a dictionary with two elements. So let me add a third element to it. So let's say the third element is the weight of that person, John Doe. So again I'm passing one more key, it's called weight, and I'm using inverted commas, and let his weight be 70 kgs. So you can see I have passed a dictionary to the print function, and the dictionary has got three elements: name John Doe, the key being name and value being John Doe. The next element is gender, the key being gender and the value being male, and the third element of the dictionary is weight. The weight is the key and 70 is the value. So when I will run this dictionary, you can see Python has given me the output: name John Doe, gender male, weight 70. So again, as usual, let me check the type of this variable, whether Python has able to understand the type of this variable. So I will pass the same dictionary inside the type function. So I passed it, and let me check if Python is able to understand the data type or not. Yeah, I can see Python has understood that data type is called dictionary. So these are the various data types which we have studied in Python. Let me summarize it. The first one we studied was integer. The second one we studied was floats. The third one which we studied was Boolean, which includes two values, true or false. And the fourth one was strings, which are popularly known as texts in Python. The fifth was complex numbers, which have got a real part and an imaginary part. The sixth one is called lists, and the seventh one is called the tuples. The eighth one is called the sets, and the ninth called the dictionaries. So these are the data types which we need to study in detail. Without having a proper understanding of the data types, we will never be able to code properly in Python. So please, before going to coding, have a very sound understanding of Python data types. So I told you about the type function also. If you have any doubt what is the data type of the given argument, so you can use the type function to know and detect the data type. So whenever you are passing an integer to the type function, it will give the output as int, and immediately will come to know that the data type is integer. So Python will not write integer in full, it will write only first three letters int, and you need to understand that this is an integer. If you pass 6 plus 6j in the type function, Python will come to know that this is a complex number, and it will give you the output. So that brings to the end of this video. So we had a very clear understanding of data types in Python. And after finishing this video, we will now switch over to our next video, which is called variables. Definitely we'll cover data types in detail in our forthcoming videos so that you can have a better understanding. So do stay tuned, and happy learning. And please don't forget to subscribe and press the bell notifications for further videos. I hope you found this session very interactive, and I hope you learned a lot of things from this session. And keep on studying and keep on practicing. Thanks. Have a great day.